ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ Last Saturday we had more of a question answer and a clarity on certain topics, and then on Monday, being Saraswati Puja in Vidyarambha, we started with Tattva Bodha. So being a working day, many probably could not have attended it, but then the YouTube is there. You can have a look at it. But to help everyone, we will quickly also go through what we had learned in the Tattva Bodha, the first shloka what we learned. So as mentioned, Tattva Bodha is written by one of the Shankaracharyas of Kanchi Matha, and this is an inference which we get basically Anumana Pramana. We infer, and how do we infer it? Because Indra as the title, Indra Saraswati as the title, when it comes, normally it is for Kanchi Matha. Okay, so many a times people say that Tattva Bodha is written by Shankaracharya, and the moment we say Shankaracharya, in everyone's mind it is Adi Shankaracharya, but looks to be that it is not Adi Shankaracharya. But it doesn't matter to us who has written. What is important is the contents, because that is what is going to help us. So as students of Vedanta who are very keen in learning, we should never bother who has written it. There are many texts which are written by other acharyas, many commentaries on various Shankaracharya, Adi Shankaracharya's writings, which are far more valuable and meaningful, because the way it is explained, it is very, very good. So yes, all the acharyas have really given us the best what they can, and hence if that contents is what is in line and is going to help us, go with the knowledge content and do not go with the author. Do not have a preference or a liking. No, if it is Adi Shankaracharya, it would have been best. No, nothing of that sort. All acharyas have learnt by the Sampradaya way, and they have put their effort to whatever is there in their mind to put it across in the right way so that it benefits all of us. So one of the Shankaracharyas of Kanchi Matha, whose guru is Vasudevendra. Okay, so his guru is Vasudevendra, and he is the person who has written it. So very clearly it is a Smriti Grantha. It is not a Shruti Grantha. It is a Smriti Grantha. It has got an authorship, but the text does not give the name of the author. It gives the name of his guru, because he has incorporated his guru's name in the first shloka, which is the Mangala shloka. Normally any writing which happens in our traditional text starts with a Mangala shloka. So it should always start with a Mangala Shloka. And when we say Mangala Shloka, it is a prayer to the God. And what is a prayer? The prayer is, oh God, I am going to start something to write. Give me the right thought. Give me all the blessings so that I complete it in the proper way, that it benefits many people. This is the prayer with every person who wants to write starts with, and that is called a Mangala Shloka. So you start by praying to the God, or praying to your teacher, or praying to someone whom you worship, you value, asking for blessings, so that without any vighna, without any speed breaker, you complete the text to the intended reason why you started the text. Which means that if the text is big, there are always chances that this person can even die. And there are many texts which would have been just halfway there and no one would know also. Right? So that is why the first shloka is the Mangala Shloka. And in this Mangala Shloka of Tattvabodha, the person who has written it is Vasudevendra, his disciple has written it. Okay. Now, before we go ahead, I think we should chant like last time, so that make it a way that you will be able to slowly get by hearting it, or at least the words, the proper breakups should start coming. Understand that this becomes very, very important, because as we go ahead, the references will be to this text. So we will straight away take that particular portion of the shloka and say, okay, refer to that. Immediately your mind should go what it is. So once you know the text, the meaning of the text becomes easy. And once you know the meaning and the text and it is here and you don't have to refer, then it is available for you whenever you want. So as far as possible, try to just listen and at least get familiarity with these texts. And if you just listen for a month, I am very certain that you will by heart unknowingly a lot. Okay, good. So we will go to the text. I have shared this text already in the WhatsApp group. You all can see that, and you can repeat after me. I will repeat it twice. You can repeat after me so that you know how to chant the text. Vasudevendra Yogindram, Vasudevendra Yogindram, Natva Jnanapradam Gurum, Natva Jnanapradam Gurum, Mumukshunam Hitarthaya, Mumukshunam Hitarthaya, Tattvabodho Bhidiyate, Tattvabodho Bhidiyate, Sadhana Chatushtaya, Sadhana Chatushtaya, Sampannadhikarinam, Sampannadhikarinam, Moksha Sadhana Bhutam, Moksha Sadhana Bhutam, Tattva Viveka Prakaram, Tattva Viveka Prakaram, Vakshyamaha, Vakshyamaha, Sadhana Chatushtayam Kim, Sadhana Chatushtaya Kim, Nitya Nitya Vastu Vivekaha, Nitya Nitya Vastu Vivekaha, Ihamutrartha, Ihamutrartha, Phalabhoga Viragaha, Phalabhoga Viragaha, Shamadhi Shatka Sampattihi, Shamadhi Shatka Sampattihi, Mumukshutvam Cheti, Mumukshutvam Cheti, Nitya Nitya Vastu Vivekah Kaha, नित्यानित्यवस्तु विवेकः कः नित्यवस्त्वैकं ब्रह्म नित्यवस्त्वैकं ब्रह्म तद्व्यतिरिक्तं सर्वमनित्यं तद्व्यतिरिक्तं सर्वमनित्यम् अयमेव नित्यानित्यवस्तु विवेकः अयमेव नित्यानित्यवस्तु विवेकः विरागः कः विरागः कः इह स्वर्गभोगेषु इच्छाराहित्यम् इच्छाराहित्यं शमादिसाधन संपत्तिः का शमोदम उपरमस्तितीक्षा शमोदम उपरमस्तितीक्षा श्रद्धा समाधानं चेति श्रद्धा समाधानं चेति शमः कः मनोनिग्रहः दमः कः चक्षुरादिबाह्येन्द्रिय निग्रहः उपरमः कः स्वधर्मानुष्ठानमेव तितीक्षा का शीतोष्ण सुखदुःखादि सहिष्णुत्वं श्रद्धा कीदृशी गुरुवेदान्तवाक्यादिषु विश्वासश्रद्धा समाधानं किं चित्तैकाग्रता मुमुक्षुत्वं किं मोक्षो मे भूयात् इति इच्छा एतत् साधनचतुष्टयम् ततस्तत्त्वविवेकस्य अधिकारिणो भवन्ति तत्त्वविवेकः कः. Okay, so the first part I have read, and now we will start seeing what it means. Now, this particular text is in a prose form. It is not in a poetic form. It's a gadya type, and when it's a prose form, it is like sentences. Okay, it doesn't have any meter or anything. It is proper sentences, and the way this particular text is there, it is more of a question answer. Okay, so it is very clearly a student is asking a question and the teacher is answering it, and when teacher answers, he introduces the next topic. So the student has a question in that topic and the teacher answers, and like that slowly it keeps on going ahead. So the student asks the question, the teacher gives an answer and introduces a topic. That allows the student to ask the next question, and this continuity will go on till the end. Okay, Some of these questions are one word answers, some of these are one line answers, some of these are many line answers. And that is why it is a text. Very clearly it is a prose form and it is not in a poetic form. Good. Now let us go and understand what the first shloka or the Mangala shloka is. Vasudevendra Yogindram. As far as possible, try to write some words or some points which you will understand when you read it next time. So don't take such vague points that you yourself will not understand next time when you open it. No. You have to take minimal, at least that much, that when you read it with this text, you should be able to correlate. Okay, good. So, Vasudevendra Yogindram, he starts with Vasudeva Indra. So, Vasudevendra is one of the Kanchi Shankaracharyas who is there after Adi Shankaracharya in the Kanchi Mata. And his disciple writes it, so he starts with his Guru's name, which itself becomes a Mangala Shloka. Who is this Vasudevendra Yogindra? He is a Yogindra, he says. And when you say Yogindra, this word Indra means he is foremost. He is the superior most. Okay. Whenever you use the word Indra as a suffix to something, any adjective you use and use the word Indra means he is the supreme in that. He is the king in that. Rajendra. Rajanam Indraha Rajendraha. He is the superior among the Rajas. Yogindra. Now when you say Yogindra, among the yogis, he is the Indra. Right? And why is calling him as one of the Yogindra? What is the speciality of a yogi? He has got complete control of his mind, he has got complete control of his senses, he has got a proper focus, he is completely aligned, and hence he is that means his disciplines are very strong. From this we understand that the teacher's disciplines are very, very strong, and the student is very he has submitted and he has acknowledged that he shows that he has an aim to become like the teacher. बोलते ना, अरे आपका ज्ञान कितना है, आप you are at that level, I am at this level, means what? I wish to put effort and come to that level. Right? So Yogindra. So Vasudevendra Yogindra, this Vasudeva Indra, who is a Yogindra, Natva Jnanam Pradam Gurum. He has that quintessential knowledge. He has got this knowledge, which is the most supreme knowledge from his Guru Parampara. So, this Vasudevendra, who has completely got control on his senses, he is well versed with a particular knowledge which he has received it from his Guru Parampara. Vasudevendra Yogindram Natva Jnanam Pradam Gurum. And he is the person who is teaching me. And I am taking whatever he has taught me as per the Parampara, and now I am writing this. For whom am I writing this? Am I simply writing to fulfill my ego, or it is going to be of a particular objective? And clearly the second line gives the objective why he is writing it. It is called Mumukshunam Hitarthaya. So who is a Mumukshu? One who has got a inner goal to get free from this samsara. So person who wants freedom from samsara, he is called a mumukshu. The details will come later. Just write down, a person who wants mukti, who wants moksha, is called mumukshu. Moksha इच्छा करने वाले को मुमुक्षु कहते, right? So mumukshunam hitarthaya, all those people who are genuinely interested in moksha, for them to learn I am going to make a Tattva Bodha, this particular text. So in this he has introduced himself, he has introduced his Guru, he has introduced the greatness of the Guru, the qualities of the Guru, the knowledge level of the Guru, and then he says, it is for a purpose I am writing, so that those people who have that as the goal, which is moksha, they will be beneficial, they are the beneficiaries if they learn this particular text. Now, most of the text in our system has to have 6 things in it. As you have the news, what comes first? The headlines. In the news, the headlines comes first. Then after that, each news is going into detail, and later on at the end of the news also, again the headlines are told. Same way, any text, if a topic is to be taken, the topic, the purpose of the topic, who is writing the topic will have to give a very quick introduction of what he wants to take, the content of what he wants to take. Then it should not be a repetition of someone who has done it. That means he has to add something new in what he is writing. Apurvata. It is not to be done which is already told. दूसरा किसी का लेके छापने का नहीं है. So they add that moral IP, intellectual property rights already there in place. So morally no one would take someone else's and simply publish it. No, because there will be a lot of people who will say this is not acceptable. What is your contribution to it? So something different should be there which you will add on. You will not change the topic, but you will add on something to it which will make it much more meaningful for people to read. It won't be a new version, but a new way of presenting the same thing. It could be whatever. And it should have the lingas of it. It should have very, very clearly why it is said. It should have certain confirmatory statements. When someone is making something, it needs to have certain references. He can't be just talking something out of his mind. So there has to be references. That is called the traditional way of learning. And last, if there are any doubts about it, that should get clarified. And finally, a summary or a conclusion. So unless the 6 Shad Linganis are there in a text, the text will be actually thrown off. So every text what you see here will have all these 6 lingas. And the first one is an introduction. So here clearly the Mangala Shloka itself becomes the introduction here. Why am I saying that? Look at the Mangala Shloka. He says all the details, the goodness of, he does a good marketing job. Understand that. ये आप देखो, ये परंपरा से आ रहा है, ऐरा गैरा कोई नहीं है. It is so many age-old parampara, traditionally learned by a person who is practicing it and who has taught me, and I am taking that and trying to present it to people who have this as an objective so that it becomes beneficial for that learning. Do you understand? A hetu is coming out clearly, what needs to be done is coming out clearly, what is the background is coming out clearly, and this is the beauty of certain text. When they put everything properly in 2 lines, it becomes clear to us. Then you can decide after this first shloka, oh, it is for mumukshus. Am I a mumukshu? No. Moksha mujhe nahi chahiye, then I can close. I don't have to go ahead. You understand? See, how do you take a book? You read the preface, you go at the back end, what is there, and then you decide whether you want to go ahead or not. Not that every book given is you are going to read, right? Same way, although I have an interest, but I am interested in these things, then it is for you. If you are not interested, no problem, don't go ahead. And here, I presume all of y'all who want and who are keenly interested in Vedanta will have an interest to know this Tattvabodha. So hence, y'all are all qualified from this moment as mumukshu. So one of the objective which you have in your mind is, I need to get moksha. I am not just reading for time pass. I want to get moksha. So it's serious business. I am giving my quality time. And if you feel that मुझे किधर मोक्षा मिलने वाला है, then you are belittling your own efforts. मुझे मोक्ष मिलने के लिए मैं पढ़ रहा हूं, क्योंकि this text is for giving you moksha shastra. Tomorrow you will learn Bhagavad Gita. After every chapter, what does it say? Om Tat Saditi Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyaya Moksha Shastre. There also it has come now. So you have no choice. You have to have this as your goal. Even if you have not thought, we teachers will enkindle this thought that I want moksha. Okay. What is moksha? I don't know. चलेगा, but I want moksha. वो बच्चे बोलते हैं ना, जिद्दी रहते हैं, नहीं मुझे चाहिए, क्या बनता है उससे, क्या मिलने वाला है, that all I don't know, but मुझे चाहिए. Be with that. That is called faking it and making it. At least fake it and make it. Then once you get the right knowledge, it will start working. But if you don't fake it and make it, you know, every small girl, whenever that girl is trying to be like the mother, will take a small piece of cloth and like a sari dal ke, I am going to do the cooking now. What does that mean? Faking it and making it, right? And everyone will say, very good, very nice, very nice. So brothers, sisters, one will be the father, one will be the mother, they'll play. And that's exactly faking it and making it. That shows slowly they'll start liking it, right? So like that, we are all children and we have to fake and make it that I want moksha. I want moksha. ये नया चीज है, चलो शुरू तो करो, देखेंगे क्या है, मिलता है नहीं मिलता है अपना हाथ में नहीं है, बट आई पुट एफर्ट. गुड. सो मुमुक्षूणाम हितार्थाय तत्वबोधः अभिधीयते. आई विल illustrate or enumerate, or I will teach you, or you can read the text. This is called Tattva Bodha. Now what is Tattva Bodha? Okay. This is a very important aspect. Now you have to understand this word meaning of Tattva Bodha.
Knowing the self. Knowing ourselves.
Yeah. 1 minute. So Tattva Bodha is made up of 2 words. Tattva means self, one's own self, or oneself. You can put capital SELF. Self. It is not myself, yourself, his self. No. How do you write when you want to withdraw money from your own account using your checkbook? What do you write? What check it is called? You understand? That also we write self. You understand? Self. That is Tattva. And what is Bodha? To know. To understand. So understanding self is Tattva Bodha. Okay. Understanding, you want to make it in a proper English, you use understanding what is myself. The moment you use the word my, then you have a problem. So simply write understanding self. Okay, that is Tattva Bodha. And once you understand self, then what? Simple. If you are interested to understand self, then you are mumukshu. You understand now? So who is a mumukshu? Who wants to understand SELF. Are, what are you telling? You told us that some time back a mumukshu is a person who will get moksha. And now you are telling understanding yourself is called mumukshu. So what is moksha equal to? A equal to B, B equal to C means what is that? A equal to C. What is moksha? Understanding self equal to moksha. समझ में आ रहा है? So in the first line itself, clarity is there. Moksha means, understanding self. So you can go and tell anyone, I know what is moksha. What? understanding self. And that is called Tattvabodha. Are we clear? Good. So, Tattvabodha abhidiyate. Now comes the second line, what he says, Sadhana chatushtaya sampanna adhikarinam moksha sadhana bhutam tattva viveka prakaram vakshyamaha. Okay, this is in continuation with the previous line. The previous line is only the Mangala Shloka, if you consider it as Vasudevendra Yogindram. Now, how to convert this Vasudevendra Yogindram into a completely Mangala Shloka, you know? If I consider that this person wants to call Mahavishnu as Vasudeva, now no more teacher, huh? Cannot I consider that he is actually calling Vishnu as Vasudeva? Vasudeva Krishna. Correct? Krishna V. Krishna Vasudeva. Correct? So that Krishna who is a Yogindra. Yes or no? Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. He is a Yogindra. He is a Jagadguru. So if I now replace that person called as Acharya Vasudevendra Yogindra, there Yogindra became an adjective for Vasudevendra. Think about it. Are you able to get that? That means he has done that much of tapasya. He is a perfect yogi. And if I consider Krishna as Vasudeva, then Yogindra is anyway, he is a Yogindra. Doesn't it become Mangala Shloka now? And this is the beauty of writing such text. The way you want, you can take it. If you take it as his Guru also, it is Mangala Shloka. If you take it as Bhagavan also, it is Mangala Shloka. तो एक ही श्लोक में दो लोग को, दो चिड़िया को मार दिया. And that is the intelligence of the writer. This is how you will appreciate, अरे this writer is सोच के लिखा है. Are we getting it? So Vasudevendra Yogindram Natva Jnana Pradam Gurum Mumukshunam Hitarthaya Tattvabodho Vidiyate. So I have very clearly, it's a Mangala Shloka. It is also a Guru Vandana, and then it continues ahead. Then he continues the second line, which is in connection with the first line. He says, for whom, if you are mumukshu, you should have something else as who all can become a mumukshu. Suppose I say, I am interested to pass out from IIT. If I say that I want to learn in IIT and pass out, that is my goal. Can I simply enter into IIT? Then what should I do? I have to give an entrance exam, right? So there is an eligibility criteria. Even though you have a goal, there has to be an eligibility criteria, not that everyone can just go and achieve the goal. Take your own child. When you wanted to put that child in Montessori, how many times there were interviews with the child, with the parents? What is that? Eligibility criteria. Yes or no? So the school checked the eligibility criteria before giving admission. So I have a goal to take admission for the child, but the school will check whether I am capable of managing it or not. That is the eligibility criteria, right? So same way in the second line he says, Sadhana chatushtaya sampanna adhikari. He uses a technical word. He says sadhana chatushtaya. 4 criterias, 4 sadhanas. Chatushtaya means 4. Sampanna, sarvaguna sampanna means what? Endowed with, filled with. Adhikari means eligible candidate. Correct? So those candidates who have the eligibility criteria of all the four criterias only can think of taking a goal called moksha. Are you able to get this now? Now slowly is adding layer after layer. What is the next thing you will say? Oh, please tell me what are the four things. Correct? And that is going to come as the next question, obviously. So keep that suspense right now. Just write it as sadhana chatushtaya sampanna adhikari, that eligible candidate who is endowed with all the four criteria. All are not either of it. Okay. And moksha sadhana bhutam. For moksha, what sadhana is required? See, you will not get moksha like that only, just by the knowledge. You will have to do a lot of sadhanas, and then you will get knowledge, right? So what all needs to be done, how it needs to be done, that I will teach you. And that process of learning, the process of inquiry, is called Tattva Viveka Prakaraha. It looks a little now, suddenly you will see that in this line a lot of technical statements have started coming in. When we put all this together, we will get the proper meaning. First understand each word and the meaning will connect it properly. Tattva Viveka Prakaraha is the process of inquiry. How to make a proper inquiry? Of what? Tattva Viveka. Correct? Prakara is the inquiry. What is that process of inquiry? To get this Tattva Viveka means that knowledge of that Tattva. Tattva is self. Correct? So, sadhana chatushtaya sampanna adhikarinam moksha sadhana bhutam Tattva Viveka Prakaram Vakshyamaha. Those people who are endowed with four eligibility criterias and the sadhanas what they need to do and to get that moksha, the process of inquiry to get this moksha, I will teach you. That means he is not going to teach you what is it. He is only going to guide you. So he is going to show you the path and you have to walk. You have to make the inquiry. Only when you make the inquiry, you will get an answer, and with that answer is what you will learn. So he will help you. He will hold hand and take you. दोस्त है हमारा. समझ में आ रहा है? Clear? Okay. So the first line now makes it clear. It starts with Vasudevendra Yogindram Natva Jnana Pradam Gurum. That Vasudevendra Yogindra who is endowed with this knowledge, I have learnt it from him, and I am going to give it to people who are interested in moksha. Correct? That teaching what I am going to give, the people who are interested in moksha need to have four eligibility criteria, and to them I will teach the process of inquiry to understand this self. चार लाइन में कितना चीज, कितना बॉम्ब अंदर डाल दिया है. And this is called, in our traditional language, it is called Pratijna Vakyam. Pratijna, I am taking a Pratijna that I will completely ensure that I complete all these things, so that you will not be, at the end of it, you will not say, Arey, you missed out this. No. I will ensure that I will complete all that and tick mark karte jao. Clear? The first statement is a very clear statement of what he wants to say, what is the background, what is the requirement, what is the process, and what you are going to achieve as the benefit. Isn't everything coming in that one properly in that 4 lines? Clear? Is this clear? If there is any doubt, ask me, because after this it will be much easier. If there is any doubt, ask me. And as far as possible, let us not go with...
Sir?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sir, what is the meaning of the word Vakshyama? Just the word
Vakshyama means I will tell you.
teach.
Tell you. Vakshyami,
Okay. And
Vakshyama.
Natva only,
See, that is why I am
only
saying,
Natva.
1 minute, 1 minute. Don't go by word meaning right now. See, the moment
Okay.
get to the contents of it, later on, see these words, they are simple words even if you go with the meaning. Because if you simply write the meaning, you will lose on that overall connectivities. So I'm going to give you from a connectivity perspective, and then you, if you look at it from that, and maybe you will have to just go through it and say, oh, this word means this. Okay, then see it fits properly. But word by word, I am not going to say this word equal to this word equal to this. Then it becomes as per grammar, and then you lose the essence of it. So I'm going to give you an overall picture, not word by word meaning of it, right? Otherwise, it will become too theoretical, and people will say, "Arey, this is boring." Clear? Okay. Now, if there is, I hope the contents of this 4 line is clear, and then we go ahead. Even if it is not clear, don't worry about it. You may not have captured every point in it, don't worry. But overall, you get a flavor of what it is. Kiske liye hai. That is important. And let's go. Now, we have used one technical term, साधन चतुष्टय संपन्न अधिकारी, और उसमें से ये स्टूडेंट को खुजली आया है, because he was thinking that I am getting an answer, but वो आंसर का बीच में एक छोटा सा क्वेश्चन डाल के चुपचाप बैठ गया. So what is going to be now? You all are also very intelligent student. What will be your next question to that?
What is the sadhan chatushtaya?
Correct. So now what is the next line which is going there? Sadhana chatushtayam kim. Are you able to get that? Correct. The next line is what? Sadhana chatushtaya kim. What is this sadhana chatushtaya? Is what the students ask. Now he is going to explain that. He says sadhana chatushtaya means nitya nitya vastu vivekaha. So how will we break it? Nitya vastu, anitya vastu, vivekaha. Vivekaha means the ability to discriminate. Wisdom. The wisdom and ability to discriminate what is nitya vastu and anitya vastu. अरे बाप रे. साधन चतुष्टय पूछा, तो now you have introduced another one point called नित्य अनित्य वस्तु. समझ में आ रहा है? अभी अंदर अंदर घुसते जाएंगे हम, and everything starts becoming clear slowly. Are we able to get this? So if you ask me now what is nitya anitya vastu viveka, I will say go to the next line. Before that, he says sadhana chatushtayam. What are these 4 sadhana chatushtaya? And the first one is nitya nitya vastu viveka. What is nitya vastu? What is anitya vastu? The wisdom of that or ability to discriminate is the first requirement. Chatushtaya means 4 are required, right? 4 criteria are required, all the 4. Out of that, this is the first criteria. Okay, I have noted it down, but I don't understand ABC of what is your nitya vastu and anitya vastu. I have noted it down, no problem, note it down, because it is going to come ahead. Okay, then okay, what is the second criteria? He says iha amutrartha phala bhoga viragaha. Okay, iha means in this janma. In this janma, till you die, iha, it is called. What is amutra? Post death. Because of all the good deeds what you do, suppose you go to Swarga, you go to Brahmaloka. See, all these places have been kept ready, right? You have to go and occupy it, and for which you are doing very good things. And imagine that after death you have gone and occupied that. So, That is called amutra. Okay, what is phala? Fruit. What is bhoga? To experience. Correct? Iha phala bhoga, amutra phala bhoga. Experiencing the fruits before I die here and also after my death, whatever is there which I have to experience. To give that up, to give up that expectation is the second eligibility. That means I don't want anything here also and I don't want anything post death also. समझ में आ रहा है अभी क्राइटेरिया. Now you will say I don't want to attend the class also. करेक्ट? क्योंकि वो फल भोग है, विराग है, छोड़ दो. अंदर आते ही छोड़ देने को बोल रहा है. Because that is a criteria. बोलते बाप रे मोक्ष मनते हैं बोल के अंदर आए और तुम बोलते हैं वैराग्य सब छोड़ दो भाई, छोड़ो तो ही वो मिलेगा. It's a eligibility criteria. If this is there, then only that will come. If this is not there, that will not come. Are we getting it now? Now life is getting complicated. Na? It was simple when you started, but now it is getting complicated because now I know what is reality, what you are trying to tell me. Correct? Iha amutra phala bhoga viragaha. To give up that expectation of whatever sukha or dukkha in this janma and ahead in subsequent janmas or after death. Okay. So that is the second criteria. First is nitya anitya vastu vivekaha. Now slowly by telling 10 times you will by heart this. Nitya anitya vastu vivekaha. 1. Iha mutrartha phala bhoga viragaha. 2. Okay. Then the third one he says Shamadhi Shatka Sadhana Sampatti. Shamadhi Shatka Sampatti. Shama, etc. Adi means etc. Sampatti. You know what is Sampatti? What is Sampatti? मेरा इतना संपत्ति है. What is संपत्ति?
Wealth.
Possession.
Wealth or assets.
Possession. I possess these.
Possessions.
My possessions, right? They are my sampatti. Correct? He says you need to have shama plus whatever etc. How many? Shatka 6. So shama से लेके 6 possessions you should have. पहला वाला बोला ability to discriminate what is nitya and anitya. Second वाला बोला I should not have any expectation of the results or my bhoga in this janma or subsequent post this janma. Third is I need to have possession of 6 things starting with shama. Oh my God, अभी एक बड़ा लिस्ट आ रहा है 6. क्वेश्चन क्या था? एलिजिबिलिटी क्राइटेरिया. पहला बोला समझ में नहीं आया. सेकंड वाला बोला वो भी थोड़ा क्लियर है लेकिन एग्जैक्ट नहीं है. थर्ड वाला वापस इट्स अ गूगली. वन वर्ड बोल के एक्सेट्रा लाइक दैट. दी 6 पोसेशंस यू शुड हैव. संपत्ति, नॉट विपत्ति. विपत्ति इज विरागा यू हैव गिवन. नाउ संपत्ति, आई वांट टू acquire these 6 possessions. What is it? Shama से लेके 6. You write Shama plus totally 6 possessions which are going to be dear to me. I need to start liking them and I need to own them. Okay. Now you will say, Are, second line and third line is contradicting. The second line is saying Phala bhoga viragaha. The third line is saying I want to acquire. Second line says give up the desire. Third line is saying I desire for these 6 things. Are you able to get this? If you don't get it, we will tell you that there is some trick played in this. The second line talks of the fruits which are going to come after putting an effort. Right? The third line is talking about your effort. There is a difference between effort and fruits. Right? Are you able to get this difference? Think about it. When you see both the statements, you will understand. One is what is talking about the effort, which is the third line. The second line is saying, I have no expectation of the result at all, and that is Vairagya. But the third line is saying, I want to put effort to acquire these things. Whether I will get it or not, I am not bothered, but I will put effort for it to get these possessions. शेयर मार्केट में पैसा मिलेगा कि नहीं मालूम नहीं, लेकिन पैसा डालूंगा मैं. समझ में आ रहा है? तो समाधि षटक संपत्ति एफर्ट है. शेयर मार्केट में पैसा आया या डूब गया, दोनों से मुझे फर्क नहीं गिरता है. दैट इज कॉल्ड वैराग्य. अभी कैसा क्लियरली समझ में आया है कि नहीं? ये एग्जाम्पल इतना आसान है समझने को. एग्जैक्टली, आवर माइंड इज सो पक्का एंड ग्रॉस. मटेरियल बोलो, इमीडिएटली वी नो व्हाट इज आवर फायदा एंड नुकसान. विदाउट मटेरियल समझ में नहीं आता है. हाँ, करेक्ट. दैट इज व्हाई ही सेड द सेकंड स्टेटमेंट फर्स्ट. इह अमुत्र फल भोग विराग. गिव अप दैट मटेरियल फर्स्ट. ओके, देन समाधि षटक संपत्ति. एंड फोर्थ वन इज, he had already told in the first statement, मुमुक्षुत्वम. अरे वापस घूम फिर के चौथा मुमुक्षुत्वम आया. हाँ, विदाउट दैट एक्सपेक्टेशन ऑफ मुमुक्षुत्वम यू विल नॉट डू ऑल दिस थ्री. यू वांट टू गेट फ्री ना, वो तो मेन है, उसको भूलो मत. See, if I have to reach Delhi, I will go to the Thane station. Then I will catch a local train and go to either Dadar or VT or Bombay Central or wherever. Then I will catch the Rajdhani, sit in that, and then I will reach Delhi. So what are the criteria required? Going to Thane station, catching the right local train, then getting down at the right platform and catching the right express train, and sitting in your seat and reaching your destination. All these are requirements, right? Then only you will reach there. Like that, एक का पीछे एक requirement है, but final goal भूलो मत, which is mumuksha. So now 4 things he has mentioned but not explained. Correct? Now obviously as intelligent students, you will ask the question, अरे what is nitya anitya vastu vivekah? Correct? What is viragaha? You are saying some words which I don't understand. I am asking you a question, you are giving me an answer which is equally confusing now. Can you explain to me? That's right. The teacher says, I am waiting for you to ask the question. Now that you know that you have not understood, it is good enough that I can at least proceed ahead. At least I want to check whether you are sleeping or you are awake. So if you ask the question, you are awake and you have understood till now that I have not given you an answer. नहीं तो सब समझ में आया बोल दिया तो टीचर का क्या काम है फिर? Correct? So very clearly the next question obviously is going to be Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka Kaha. What is this Nitya Nitya Vastu? Are you able to get the connection to the previous one? That are you able to get the connection to Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampannadhikari? See, every shloka is now getting beautifully connected now. Correct? Good. So, Nitya Nitya Vastu Vivekaha Kaha. What is this? Okay. Now comes an answer. And that answer is again with something which you don't understand. And the answer is, he says, okay, you have asked this question, I will give you a statement, you write the statement because you will not understand it now. He says, Nitya Vastu Ekam Brahma. There is only one Nitya Vastu which is called as Brahma. There is only one material which is called as Brahman, which is Nitya Vastu. Tad Vyatiriktam. Apart from that, Sarvam, no exclusion, everything is called Anityam. ये क्या है? Only one thing is called Brahma, which is Nitya Vastu. Rest everything is called Anityam. The word Nitya means, now you can write down. What is Nitya and what is Anitya? Nitya means independent. Anitya means dependent. Okay. Now it starts giving some meaning. Oh, there is something called as independent material, and which this author gives the name called Brahma. That is called Nitya. Rest everything which are dependent are called Anitya. And what is expected out of me? My discrimination to understand which is Nitya and which is Anitya. So I need to have a wisdom to understand which is that independent Brahman and what are the rest which are dependent non-Brahman, which are Anitya Vastu. Getting it? Is it going too technical? Is it going too boring now?
No, sir.
You have no option. Because the text is that way. The text is that way. We have to go ahead, but it becomes very interesting. After this, it starts becoming interesting because whatever till now he has said, I am unable to correlate. It's Greek and Latin to me. But the moment I start correlating with what I know, then I start enjoying it. Right? So, he says, all what you are knowing which is apart from Brahman is called Anitya Vastu, and knowing that there is something separate which is independent which is called Brahman is Nitya Vastu, and having the ability to discriminate this called Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka. Clear? Nitya Nitya Vastu Vivekah Kaha Nitya Vastvaikam Brahma Tad Vyatiriktam Sarvam Anityam. Clear? At least to that extent. What is Brahman we'll see later. What is Brahma we'll see later. But at least you know that एक ब्रह्मा को छोड़ा तो बाकी सबको मैं अनित्य बोलने का. Why? They are all dependent. Then what is this blessed Brahma? An independent guy. Does not depend on anyone. Okay. For example, if you are looking at a movie, are you looking at two things? Are you looking at a screen and a movie on it? Yes or no? When I go and pay 300 rupees or 400 rupees, go to IMAX and sit with some popcorn and sit there, first I see a screen on which a movie comes. When I see the movie, is there one thing or two things in that? Is it only a movie or is it a movie and a screen? I can't hear you.
Only movie.
No?
Movie
Without a
and
screen, can you see a movie? Let us
Only movie.
let us tear the screen, remove it out. Can you see the movie? Tell me. You'll say we'll do it on the wall, but that wall is only called screen. Without the wall. Imagine we are projecting it up onto the sky. Will you be able to see it? So, whenever you are seeing a movie, how many things are there? Do you agree there are two things? Okay. Now, we have to understand this concept by something which we know. But this is not Brahmana. But we just try to understand with some example. You know that when we use an example, what pramana it is called? हाँ, रेफर पीछे जाओ, नोटबुक में पीछे जाओ, दिखेगा. It is called one pramana.
Upamana.
हाँ, upamana pramana. Are you able to get it? See, like that we will revise. So we will use the upamana of a movie and a screen to understand what is dependent and what is independent. Tell me who is dependent on whom. The screen is dependent on the movie or movie is dependent on the screen.
Movie is dependent on the screen.
Perfect. So which is Brahma here?
Screen.
Screen. And which is the movie? It is the Anitya
Anitya.
Vastu. That is why on the same screen, once you will see Sholay, uske baad Jhansi Ki Rani, it will keep on changing, but the screen remains the same way. समझ में आ रहा है? Are you able to get that? Now, whenever I see a movie, I have never seen it as two things. I have always seen that what did I go to see? Does anyone say, I went to see the screen and the movie? They'll say, pagal ho gaya. They'll say, I went to watch the movie. But means what? There was a screen on which the movie was projected. That screen is the independent vastu. The movie was the dependent one, and that was continuously keeping on changing. Every time I give money to see the changing stuff, I have never given money to see that permanent thing. Huh? Think about it. Where is my Viveka? Nityavastu ekam brahma tad vyatiriktam sarvam anityam. Throw away the rest because they are all changing like the movie. But only one permanent thing which is there is that screen. And I pay the money to keep seeing always the changing one. And I have never paid money to see the changeless one which is always there. समझ में आ रहा है? Are you able to get the flavor? That self is always there. I have never tried to understand it, but all around the self, I am continuously baffled about that, which is like a movie continuously changing. Right from childhood to this age, everything changed. Grey hair came, teeth fell down, but I never saw what is that self on which this movie is going on. And to understand that self which is in us, like we don't see the self in a movie, Tattva Bodha. Are you able to get that? And with that, it is 9 o'clock. We should be Bodha, Samaya Bodha. And we should start with Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Okay, very good. Thank you very much. So we will
Thank
meet
you, sir.
again
Thank you.
on next
Thank you, sir. Example
Thank you,
for
sir.
movie and screen is very good.
And
Make
try
very
to
interesting,
see,
sir. Thank you.
see, try to read this so that you get familiar with the words. Just I say, एक बार, once you read it, some idea you will get, the words you will get, some words you will make a mistake. So next time you will be very clear, oh, let me hear this properly, how pronunciation happens. Okay,
Yes.
thoda, see we said na, sadhana chatushtaya sampanna adhikari, you have to put effort there. Now effort will start slowly. Even if you don't put effort, I'll push you to put effort. Because I'll ask you a question. It is a classroom. It is not a discourse. You have to give me answer. For that you need to see something and come. For that you have to write, which you all have done already today.
Okay, sir.
Right?
Thank you, sir.
Chalo. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Hari Om, sir.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Hari Om, sir.
Hari Om.
Hello,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah, continue asking.
Hello.
Yeah, please ask.
Can you please share that PDF again? Because my mobile knocked off.
Sure, sure. I will send the PDF. I'll send the PDF. Don't worry.